So tracking wallets on Veve is super exciting and can give us a lot of interesting insights. Because basically wallets represent users on Veve, although not every wallet is necessarily a user because one user can have several wallets. But it's the closest we can get to kind of estimate or track the user base on Veve. And tracking a user base is always something super important for a business because you want to know how your business is going. You need to know, okay, so how is your user base doing? Is it growing? Is it declining? Or is it stagnating? How is your retention rate? What is your churn rate? How many new users do you get? All these kind of metrics are always super nice to track. And with these kind of wallet deep dives, I want to get closer into these kind of metrics, but also a lot of other interesting stuff. As you know, there are already a few ways we can get insights into the Veve wallet activity. So basically, if you go to ImmutableX, you see all the unique owners, which are unique wallets that hold at least one item. As you can see, we have roughly 650,000 wallets that hold at least one item at Veve, and it has been growing steadily, which is a good sign because it shows that the user base is growing. Also, if you go to the VeveXTracker, if you don't know the VeveXTracker, then there's a link down in my video description. It's basically a very simple dashboard tool that I've built with the ImmutableX data and among other things like the market activity. Here's a chart where you can track like the daily active wallets. So as you can see, yesterday, I only updated once a day. So yesterday we had 8.4k active wallets. That means like 8.4k wallets that made at least one transaction either in the secondary market or in the store. And we got 107 new active wallets. So that means that these are wallets that made their very first purchase on Veve or their very first transaction on that day. This is not the same as like an install or a download of the app, but it's just the moment where the user made or the wallet had their very first transaction. But of course, there are also a lot of other interesting stuff that we can look at. And in this video, I basically want to go over each wallet that has ever been active on Veve. So making a distribution on how many collectibles each wallet holds, and also look at when was the last activity date from each wallet. Because I know that people are questioning around restricted wallets. What about them? Are there any kind of restricted wallets that maybe hold a lot of tokens and haven't been active like for the past 6 months? And all this kind of stuff I will cover in this video. So if you like this kind of content, don't forget to hit that like button and feel free to subscribe. And without further ado, let's get right into the data. Okay, so the first thing that I have here is very basic. All wallets that have ever been active on Veve, how many items do they own? And if you look here, I have a column with different collection sizes. So 0 collectibles, 1 collectible, 2 to 10 collectibles, 10 to 11 to 100 collectibles, 101 to 500 collectibles, up to 1,000 collectibles, from 1,000 to 10,000, and then over 10,000 collectibles. And here you see the number of wallets that fall into these buckets. And as you see, the total amount of wallets that were ever active on Veve are currently 1,164,247. So in total, Veve has a user base of over 1 million, but that doesn't mean that they are still active users. We know that the daily active users, for example, is only 8k. So what happened with all the other wallets? And we will get into that in a minute. But basically we see, and that's quite interesting, that the vast majority, like close to half of the wallets, so 44%, actually own 0 collectibles. So this is quite a lot. Then we have 30% that only own 1 collectible. And then if we go into the higher buckets, it really becomes really low numbers. So over 10,000, these are only 4 wallets. And in this analysis, I didn't filter out the Veve wallet nor the Veve burn wallet. So 2 of these over 10,000 accounts or wallets are from Veve, and the other 2 we know are our super whales. And as you can see, from 1,000 to 10,000, there's only 377 wallets, over 1,000 wallets that are between 500 and 1,000. So some people would say these are kind of core users. Like everyone, you would need to own at least 100 collectibles to count as a kind of collector on Veve. So this would be 13,000 wallets, which is less than 2% of all the wallets that have ever been active on Veve. Okay, so next what I looked at was, so when were the wallet last active? So on this column you see the last active month, and here you see like the collection size. So for example, here you see would be all wallets that haven't been active at all during this year, because the last activity was in December last year. Yeah, you have one wallet here that is over 10,000, but this is the Veve Burn wallet, so don't worry, this is not a bot account with over 10,000 collectibles sitting in it that hasn't been active since December last year. But if we look at it, there are a few interesting things that we can see here. For example, what we see is that the vast majority of wallets are kind of in this region. So this means that we have the vast majority of wallets are basically inactive wallets, or they haven't been active for the past 6 months. And most of them also hold 0 collectibles, as we have seen before. But those who own 0 collectibles, we see that most of them also haven't been really active lately. Then another thing that becomes really interesting is if we look at the wallets that own a lot of collectibles, so our core users, our whale wallets. If we look here, a good thing to see is that we see our whales are basically active because their last activity was within the last month of October. But of course we have this bucket here, which are wallets that own between 1,000 and 10,000 items, and they haven't been active since May. Or even like we have one wallet that owns between 1,000 and 10,000. It hasn't been active since January. There's one that hasn't been active since February, one that hasn't been active since March, and 4 that haven't been active since April. So these are very interesting wallets to look at, maybe in the next video. So for me, one interesting takeaway from looking at this table is, okay, we do have a lot of users that seem to be, let's say, lost users. So if you look at here, we have close to 500,000 users that are probably lost because they don't own any item anymore and they haven't been active for over 6 months. So these were probably either flippers or probably also bot accounts, maybe people who just came in for the hype or just tried it out once and basically went on. But if we look at all these wallets here that hold at least one item still in their wallet, but especially those that hold, like here, even 100 to 1,000 items. If you look at all this block, this is also close to 500,000 users that have the potential to be reactivated. Because, like, first of all, I don't think that we had 500,000 bots. And if you still own something in Veve, it's very likely that at some point in time you will come back to the app and see, oh, what happened to that item that I bought like half a year ago or a year ago? Did something happen? Did something change? But especially I will be interested to see in those wallets that hold, let's say, more than 100 to 1,000, which are also 771 wallets. I'm pretty sure that they are just waiting until maybe the bear market is over or NFTs come back, or have they come back, or something like that. So yeah, this will be really interesting to keep watching. And yeah, as I said, these are probably wallets that I would be more worried about. This could be kind of restricted wallets, maybe some like master wallets where all the bot accounts kind of send their collectibles to, something like that. It doesn't have to be the case, and it's only 8 wallets, but yeah, they hold a decent amount of collectibles in there. And while we're at that topic, I also looked at for each basically month when the wallets were last active. So in total, how many collectibles do we have in those wallets? So here we have the months again from when the wallets were last active, and here we have the total amount of collectibles in those wallets. So basically, if you go and take all the wallets that are in this row and sum up all their collectibles, how many do you have? And it is nice to see that half of our of the collectibles in Veve are actually in active wallets. So those wallets that have been active in the past month of October. But then if we look here, for example, there are over 400,000 collectibles in wallets that haven't been active since December 2021. And then if you go down this list, so if we take, for example, all the collectibles until April, which is 6 months ago, we have over a million, like 1.6 million collectibles that are in wallets that are currently not active, which is a lot if you think about it. And although we have over 7 million collectibles currently in wallets, this of course do not include collectibles that are still in the store and not minted yet. But still, it's 22% of the items that are currently in wallets that are not, or that haven't been active in the past 6 months. So of course the next interesting question here is, what items are in those wallets? I think this is like the question everyone has now. This is not part of this video, but of course as soon as we get like the complete metadata, this will be something that step by step we will take a look at. Either me or also Omi Daily Burn, who really does a great job to look into the wallets as he did with the top 1 whale wallet. So if you haven't seen his videos, go to his channel, subscribe. Here I already did an analysis of the whale wallet, so the wallet with the biggest collection size, and also of the Veve burn wallet. So great stuff also coming from him, great analysis. We will make sure that we will dig more into this kind of stuff. But yeah, this is everything that I wanted to share with you today. Of course, this document I will put into the video description below, so you can go and check the numbers for yourself and spend more time on it. And I hope you found this information useful. As always, very interested on what you think about it, about those numbers. So leave a comment down below. And yeah, see you in the next one.